Hello and welcome back. Here in Corbet's kitchen, we believe there are certain ingredients that, while lovely on their own, become greater than the sum of their parts when paired. Bacon and eggs, strawberries and cream, lamb and mint. But can the same be said for the pairing of frauditing and fahquittery? Credit for this recipe goes to Richard Vobes, a former actor turned YouTuber and misinformation grifter. Before we look at his recipe, let's see a bit of him in action. He was the voice of the area car in an episode of The Bill.
Sierra 1 to location, please.
Sierra 1 received.
So long we leave
it. Sierra Oscar from Sierra 1 receiving.
Go ahead.
I've located Sierra Oscar 86 just inside the Market Street entrance of the Market Estate. It's not in the immediate vicinity.
He was the first ambulanceman in an episode of Waiting for God.
Where's the doctor?
All set up at the hospital. There's nothing to worry about, Diana. Jane, contact his family.
No, don't. He can't stand them.
Please leave this to us, Diana.
He's my friend!
Then why are you shouting?
Because I am going with him.
Sorry, Mum, can't do that.
Yes, of course I can.
Diana, please.
Oh, he's in good hands.
Tom!
Now just calm down, Diana.
Oh, bugger out!
He wrote and starred in Snug and Cozy, a slapstick children's TV programme.
Ting ringler. Just a little bit too close to that.
And then he had a fairly successful series called The Bald Explorer.
A little blue knob. We need the land.
These days, he's a YouTube conspiracy con man, taking advantage of people too lazy or stupid to perform simple fact checks on the baseless claims that he makes. Claims like these. Take most of the frauditing script and combine it with the pieces of silver page from the Sovsit script. Mix it all up, add in a healthy glug of cringe, a disingenuous attitude, a little pinch of gullibility, and voila! You get the new trend that conman Richard Vobes is trying to peddle. Trying to use old cash that is no longer in circulation as payment for goods and services, and then claiming to have no legal obligation to pay once the non-legal tender has been refused.
Do you know what these are? This is old money. When I say old money, I mean imperial money. I mean pounds, shillings and pence. But some of the old money that I used to grow up with when I was a kid. And then in the early 70s, decimalisation came.
It's £1.87, please.
And we have what we now have.
Go on.
And a lot of people don't realise that the Bank of England is not really a bank and it's not anything to do with England.
But the Bank of England is a bank, and it does have something to do with England. I mean, it's there, hiding in plain sight, just like you conspiracy theorists like to claim. The Bank of England. Granted, it's not a retail bank, but it is the central bank for the United Kingdom, and it is responsible for monitoring and maintaining financial stability in the UK. So, not a great start from Vobes, but let's hear some more of his bullshit, shall we?
It's a business, it's a corporation, and these are promissory notes. And does it not say in very tiny letters, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £5? But the question is, £5 of what?
But was that not clear?
Well, you didn't specify the currency. It could have been 30 billion euros.
Or $30 billion.
Exactly, Jenny.
Or 30 billion guineas, or 30 billion francs, or 30 billion Deutschmarks.
Ah, yeah, but they're euros.
That's right, Jenny. That's what the aviation lobby wants to focus on, and not the health concerns, which could affect thousands.
Thousands of what, Ruth?
But with so much at
Chairs,
stake and the two
beans,
sides so entrenched,
cats,
expect the debate
grapes,
to continue for some time.
crabs.
People.
Ah, gotcha. Sorry, just wasn't clear, that's all.
Ruth Duggan there. And who knows what the future holds for Heathrow?
That's the 64,000 question, brackets dollars, hey, Ruth? She's gone.
Obviously, it's £5 of British currency. The symbol for pounds is right there on the note. And see how, if you look closely, that is an LB to signify pounds in weight, which we no longer use anyway, as Richard is well aware. It's pounds currency. Seems disingenuous at best, but definitely fuckwitted. Let me guess. Next, he'll be claiming pound sterling means we should all be carrying around heavy lumps of silver and a set of scales in our pockets like a fucking medieval bunch of bellends.
£5 of sterling silver I knew it! Now would be worth roughly about £2,300, something like that. If you wanted to make some money, real money, as in silver money, something that has intrinsic value, you could go to your bank, take in one of these and say, excuse me, I would like the equivalent of this note, please, in sterling silver.
Oh, okay. And then you get laughed out the bank. What then?
And actually, it's purely by blind faith that we can take this into a supermarket, not that I recommend going to supermarkets these days, but or a corner shop or a small family-run business, which would be much better.
What? No, that's the opposite of blind faith. This is regular, repeated observations that these notes can be used to pay for goods and services. We've all tried it multiple times, and it works every fucking time. Unless you're claiming to have never attempted to pay for anything in your life, which, let's face it, even by a conspiracy grifter's standards is a bit fucking ridiculous.
But all we've done is we've given them a promissory note. Well, if this is a promissory note that's no longer backed up by silver or gold or anything, because we're no longer on the gold standard and it's just blind faith, then why couldn't we get a piece of paper and write our own promissory note? I could be the Bank of Vobes, couldn't I?
Well, yes, you could write your own promissory note, but of course nobody is under any obligation whatsoever to take that seriously, let alone take it as a genuine promise to pay. And with a history like yours, nobody is going to take it seriously. Nobody is going to accept that as a genuine promise to pay.
As I understand it, on the promissory note that we could make to pay our bills or to purchase things if the other person will accept it.
And there it is. As I said, if the other person will accept it. So even here, Vobes acknowledges that they don't have to accept it, and that businesses are free to decide which methods of payment they accept. Remember that, because like all conspiracy theorists, his consistency doesn't exist.
I know that so many places these days are saying, oh, we don't take cash, it's just online payments or bank payments or whatever, but we don't take cash. I understand that if they're a registered company, you know, so in other words, they're a limited company, they're registered on Companies House, they are obliged to take cash.
Oh, what was that last bit again?
They are obliged to take cash. They are obliged to take it, even though they say, well, it's not our policy. And you can turn around to them and say, oh, well, actually, mate, you may not have a till, you may not have a cash register, but you are obliged to take it if you're registered on Companies House and you're a limited company, because they are still legal tender and you have to do it. And if they refuse, I understand that if they refuse, it means they've refused to take legal tender. It means the debt for, let's say it was a cup of coffee and you're trying to pay for it, or a little meal, maybe a sandwich or something, and they said, well, we can't take that, we refuse your cash, then there is no debt. Now, I may be wrong in all of this, I often am. It's only an opinion, you understand.
So, is any of that true? Personally, I find it a bit telling that he added that disclaimer in at the end. Given the content he puts out, I don't think it's an unreasonable assumption to make that his audience is made up mostly of conspiracy theorists, plus a smattering of people who watch simply to call out his grifts. These conspiracy theorists are not exactly renowned for their ability to focus or pay any attention to detail, so I have to wonder how many of them even saw this disclaimer in the first place. And I would bet money that the number who paid attention to it is even smaller than that. And I would bet more money that the number who bothered to do their research on this particular matter is even smaller than that. Let's do a little research and find out if there's any truth to his wild, baseless claims. Richard has already reminisced about the supposed good old days of pounds, shillings and pence that ceased to be legal tender in 1971. So, unlike his fans, he wasn't born yesterday, and he's definitely old enough to remember the 30th of September 2022, right? I mean, come on. This is just over 2 years ago. It was the date that the UK's last two paper notes, the £20 note and the £50 note, ceased to be legal tender. The Bank of England put out this advert all over the place in the run-up to the deadline. We had the same thing when the paper £10 note ceased to be legal tender, which was on the 1st of March 2018. We had the same thing when the paper £5 note ceased to be legal tender on the 5th of May 2017. The previous design of £20 notes were dropped in June 2010. We've also got April 2014, July 2003, February 2001, November 2003, all as various dates as when different notes ceased to be legal tender. And these are just the ones since the turn of the century. I remember the £1 note that ceased to be legal tender in 1988, and the same thing happened then too. Then we have the quick and simple use of a search engine. Oh no, not a search engine. All I did was search for, are UK businesses obliged to take cash? And within a fraction of a second of hitting enter, I'm presented with the AI overview telling me no, businesses in the UK are not required to accept cash. But Google's AI overview can be, and frequently is, wrong. Such as this time, when it advised adding glue to stop cheese sliding off a pizza. Or this time, when it promoted running with scissors. Or this time, when it promoted the health benefits of taking a bath with a toaster to unwind and wash away stress. And the most common jobs for parrots, which strangely doesn't include conspiracy theorist. So, ignoring the AI overview, let's have a look at some information from some more credible, reliable sources. We have results from paycomplete.com, a global leader in cash management solutions. We have results from fullfact.org, a team of independent fact-checkers and campaigners against bad information. And we have the consumer champion, Which. All of these, and more, are in agreement that no, UK businesses do not have to accept any particular method of payment. It is up to the individual business to decide on what specific payment methods they accept. There are even a couple of petitions to the government from people like Richard Vobes complaining that cash acceptance isn't mandatory. Neither of these petitions received enough signatures for the matter to be debated in Parliament, yet on the 25th of April 2022 and again on the 20th of March 2023, it was debated in Parliament. And the official response from the government was as follows. In April 2022, they said, the government does not plan to mandate cash acceptance. It is right that organisations choose the forms of payment they accept. The government has introduced legislation to support access to cash. And in March 2023, the government responded, the government does not plan to mandate cash acceptance. Businesses are able to choose the forms of payment they accept. The government's proposals for legislation support cash acceptance. And here are the full responses in case you want to pause the video and read them yourself. Why is Richard Vobes still pretending that this shit is going to work when he's already acknowledged that the decision is up to the individual business, and when a very, very quick fact check shows that accepting cash is not mandatory and that Vobes has been talking complete bollocks this entire time? Well, it's to con fuckwits, of course, and as we'll see in part 2, a couple of dumb fuckwits have already fallen for his grift. Welcome back. In part 1 we had a look at Richard Vobes' claims regarding promissory notes and companies' obligations to accept cash, which were unsubstantiated and proven to be complete horseshit. Now, while it didn't take me very long to find out that he was talking complete bollocks, the same cannot be said for everyone. And inevitably, as always happens with these baseless conspiracy claims that do the rounds, some fuckwits fell for it. Enter first, ragebait grifter and Black Ops cosplay enthusiast, Mark Bannerman.
Bannerman. B-A-N-A-M. A-N. B-A-N-A-M-A-N. Bannerman.
Sorry, Mark. B-A-N-A-M-A-N. Ba-N-M-A-N. A man so stupid, he doesn't know the fucking alphabet. A man so stupid, he doesn't know his own vehicle registration. A man so wrapped up in his own little fantasy world, he's confused by the mere existence of a sign that reads, "Please wipe your feet." A man so petty, he drives from Sheffield to Durham Toll Bridge and back to try, and fail, to prove a point based on a false claim he failed to fact check and blindly believed without any fucking reason whatsoever. Mark introduces the toll bridge section of this video during a long shot from his dashcam where he's lane hogging like a fucking arsehole. Move across and let people fucking pass you, you prick. First, he calls the office from his moving car and explains that he has used the bridge without paying and has received a demand, and so he's coming to pay the fare. Upon clarifying that he is, in fact, driving from Sheffield to Durham just to pay a 50p fare, the man on the other end of the line kindly offers to write off the debt. Great, job done, payment avoided. Bravo, Mark, you really stuck it to the man.
Well, damn the man.
On to the next part of the video then, yeah? No, there's no conflict there, is there? And that's what rage baiters like Mark need. Conflict. The man then advises him how to get there. Cross the bridge, explain the situation, and turn into the office area where he can then make his payment. But then Mark asks if they take legal tender, which isn't usually how people speak. Initially, I may have thought perhaps he's got a Scottish note. But what does Mark do when he actually reaches the toll booth? He makes up a totally different story about not having seen the sign telling him there's a toll bridge and asking to turn around and go back over the bridge without being charged. When he does turn around, instead of going in to pay, where he was advised to go in, he talks more bollocks to the toll booth operator on the other side.
Right, so what it is, I've just come over the bridge and I'm doing a U-turn.
Right.
I don't get charged for that, do I?
Are you with the police or?
No, I'm not a police officer, no. What makes you say that?
No, nothing really.
Alright, so basically, I don't want to pay the toll charge.
Okay.
I think it's a rip-off. So I'm doing a U-turn now.
Alright.
I'm going back over the bridge and going a long way around.
He then crosses the bridge back to where he came from, parking further up the road somewhere, and walking back to make the payment from his previous trip.
I know it's on the camera because...
That's not money anyway.
It is money.
That's not money.
It's 25 pence.
That's not.
It is.
That is not English money.
That is. That's legal tender.
No, it's not.
Look on the website.
Yeah.
It's just old money that's still legal tender.
No, they're not.
It is.
It's not. Sorry.
Do you not? I'm not accepting it. Give me it back. I just gave it. That's to pay for my.
It's not legal tender, mate. It's not legal tender.
But it is.
It is not.
Honestly, look on the website.
Stop.
Do you want to ring your boss?
He's the boss.
Oh, hello there. No, seriously, if you look on the website.
Legal tender, we don't accept it.
But you told me you did on the phone.
No, I didn't.
You said you accept legal tender.
Like most rage baiters, Mark struggles not to be smug before delivering his punchline, and so of course we can see it coming. We know he's playing a game. We know he's being disingenuous. It's fucking obvious. You're not a good actor.
English money that is in current use.
Well, I know
old stuff that's like that.
It is still legal tender.
Are you recording this for YouTube?
This guy is onto him right away, and Mark continuously ignores the question, again demonstrating that this disingenuous approach and subterfuge that these frauditors and sovsits love to use in order to provoke a negative response doesn't work.
But this is my receipt.
Are you recording this for YouTube? Serious?
Yeah, it's my receipt because you don't give them apparently. It says on the paper.
No. Are you recording this for YouTube?
Can I take the paper back then? Because I need that for reference. I need to pay that.
No,
that's mine.
You've got to pay some money.
That's my paper.
Are you recording this for YouTube?
I just have to say to you, that's.
Are you not going to?
If you don't give me that, that's theft. I want that back. Thank you.
It's YouTube.
So I need to pay the charge. What about the charge? I need to pay the charge. What cowboy outfit is this?
And with the door shut in his face and nobody willing to play his childish game, Mark does the walk of shame until he spots the man on the phone to the police, which of course gives him more opportunity to enrage people.
You're not accepting my legal tender.
He's dressed in black. He looks as if he's paramilitary, but it's the way he's dressed. He's all black and he's got Bannerman on it. So obviously he's just one of those YouTubers, I think.
2 days ago I crossed the bridge and I didn't pay, and I've come to pay today. If you don't want the money, then just cancel the charge and I'll go away.
Pure fiction.
I'm only coming to pay the 50 pence charge. I'm coming from Sheffield.
So pay a 50 pence charge and then going back to Sheffield?
Yes.
Right, I'll tell you what, sir, forget about it.
I can't do that.
And, in true frauditor fashion, still somehow claims victory.
Travel for free! It's legal tender, they don't accept it!
Yes, well done, Mark. You're now up £2 over the man. And Mark isn't the only moron to have fallen for this easily debunked nonsense. Here he is with his mates, who have also fallen for Vobes' easily debunked false claims, and after frauditing a police station until they realised they weren't going to get any confrontation, they returned to the car park to cry about it being cashless.
We don't have this in our area, everything's cash. Cash is king, yeah? So you're refusing to take legal tender.
Mark is let off with a promise to pay based on section 10.3, subsection G, which explains the ANPR pay after use method of payment. But when the Scouse pair try the same trick immediately after Mark, the operator on the other end of the intercom realises that this is some sort of fuckwitted game and she's not up for playing along.
Cash is legal tender. So what you're doing is you're refusing to take legal tender, and you're holding me hostage. You need to open your barrier now, or I'll phone 999. Okay? Right, there's other people that are in the same situation that didn't realise they don't take cash. They've been let through, the barrier's been raised. We're in the same position, so what you're doing now, this is discrimination. So you discriminating me from the other driver.
Of course, they then cry discrimination on the basis that they're Scouse and there are no NCP car parks in Liverpool, according to them. Wow. That is, apart from the NCP car parks on Fahquittery Street, Pall Mall, Bailey Street, Mount Veron Street, Rumford Street, Vernon Street, Tithebarn Street, Bridgewater Street, Upper Pitt Street, Kitchen Street, Primrose Hill and Smithfield Street. You lying Scouse bellends.
Wankers. Fucking embarrassing. Waste of our time. Fucking waste of our time.
They also make the same false claims about businesses being obligated to take cash.
Hello, will you take a promissory note? No, you know silence is acquiescence, don't you? Are you refusing to take legal tender, cash? I'll ask you again, are you refusing to take cash as payment? Final time, are you refusing to take cash as payment? We've asked them more than 3 times, are they willing for someone to come down and take cash off us? Yeah, which is legal tender still in this country.
The same false claims about businesses being obligated to take cash are rolled out, adding his own made-up bollocks on the top about, if they refuse 3 times, all of a sudden it's magically true.
I've asked them more than 3 times, are you refusing to take cash? Which is legal tender in this country. So I want you to find out who this company are, and I want the CEO arrested for kidnap. As soon as I was asking, are you refusing to take cash? I'll ask you again, are you refusing to take legal tender cash of this country? Didn't answer me again, I asked her a 3rd time, and then she's just put the phone down.
Sorry, refuse 3 times? What is this, in front of a fucking mirror? Is this fucking Beetlejuice, Biggie Smalls, Bloody Mary or some Candyman shite? Grow up.
I'm only asking a civil question. I'm in England and I've got pound notes with the Queen's head on in my pocket.
I remember the £1 note that ceased to be legal tender in 1988.
But what they're doing now, this is kidnapping me and holding me against my will. Because we're offering to pay with cash, they're refusing. So, these are part of the New World Order.
I'm offering you cash. You've got to take cash. Yeah, you do. That's against the law. You've got to take cash. I've used their service.
They're saying they're refusing this. If I walk in a restaurant and I eat the food and then they say, oh, we don't accept cash, that is their problem. We can walk out.
It's fiction.
So they don't want to do the form because they don't want to say, oh, like,
there's nothing we can do.
You're wasting police time.
Are you stupid? I've got cash in my hand now. Well, we can pay in cash, that's the law. They can't refuse cash. If they refuse it, which they have more than 3 times, then it's free for us. That is the law.
The government does not plan to mandate cash acceptance. It is right that organisations choose the forms of payment they accept. These idiots are so hung up on their fuck-witted false belief that all businesses are mandated to accept cash and that refusal means free stuff that they reach an impasse. And they end up committing criminal damage by dismantling the barrier.
They didn't even need to come up then.
That's it.
Yeah. That way?
Yeah, which is legal tender still in this country.
Well, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure you don't believe in this fucking nonsense about cash that's no longer in circulation still magically somehow being in circulation if you say the right words in the right order. It's some fucking subset bullshit, isn't it? Really? I mean, come on. Give it a like, give it a dislike, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you in the next video. Until next time, cheers.
Not my place, Dad.